When somebody comes to us and either them or their spouse owns a closely held business, that business will need to get valued. Unless there's really little, if any, financial success. But if it's a business that's spinning off real income, it needs to be valued. That's a complicated process that requires, a great deal of expertise, both from the attorneys, from ourselves, which we have, because it's something we do quite a bit of, and also from the outside expert, from the business valuator, the forensic accountant that we may need to hire to bring in to give us a valuation. It takes time. This doesn't happen overnight for most businesses. There's a lot of discovery that we need. We need to get a real handle on the business. We need to, get whatever tax documents they have, whatever, hopefully they're using, an accounting system online. We need to get that. We need to get backup documentation. We need to figure out, how much are they really earning? How much is, often smaller businesses, we see a lot of personal expenses that are being run through the business. We care about it from a standpoint of what's known as normalizing their income, of figuring out what are they really earning, what's really happening here. And so that process takes a lot of time. As we're gathering those documents, typically we're working with the business valuator, with the accountant, and then ultimately we're coming up with a valuation. Sometimes we're able to do that with what we call a neutral valuation, where both sides, both attorneys agree to use the same expert. That can be really good in the right cases, hopefully in most of the cases, because if we each have to hire our own outside expert, we're going to create a lot more litigation and it's going to get very expensive. Sometimes that needs to be done. If I have a business that's worth millions of dollars, that can make a lot of sense to do that. On the other hand, if I have a business that's spinning off a few $100,000 worth of income, the last thing I want to do is to fight over something that's worth, $300,000 and run up $100,000 in legal fees or $50,000 in outside expert fees.